ओम ज्ञानं तिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानजनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वरूपं वदामि यं सदति यदति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागररघुनाथं सजीवं साधवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सागं ललिता शिवशाखावितं च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पार्षदेशधारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधाकांत नमस्ते तप्त कंचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी बृहस्पति देवी प्रणमं हरि प्रिये वंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितनां पवनभ्यश्च जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय माता जी, मेघना माता जी।
One who has real knowledge knows that Prakriti, material nature is working under Krishna's direction. It is not possible to understand how all this is going on, but we can understand it in summary. Janmadi asya yato navyada itta ratas cha. Everything emanates from the supreme absolute truth Krishna. This much knowledge is sufficient. We can think in we can then increase this knowledge to understand how material nature is working under Krishna's direction. Modern scientists mistakenly think that material natures is working independently and that things evolved by some chemical process only. However, life does not merely comes from life or some chemical evolution. As Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvanam pravat, pravartate. I am the source of all the spiritual and the material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The same conclusion is also given in Vedanta Sutra, wherein it is stated, Janmade Asya Yataha. Brahman is he from whom everything emanates. Everything includes living entities and in, inert matter. Both matter and the living entities come from Krishna. Indeed, the whole world is a combination of matter and spirit, Prakriti and the living entity.
स्वाति माता जी। आप पढ़ेंगे माता जी?
मैं पढ़ूं क्या प्रभु जी?
हाँ जी माता जी।
Material energy is inferior and spiritual energy is superior. Why? Superior energy, Jiva Bhuta, the living entity, is controlling material nature. Actually, he is not controlling, but is trying to utilize it. For instance, human beings are advanced living entities and they have created modern civilization by utilizing dull, inert matter. This is our superiority. However, we are also Prakriti as well as Paraprakriti. In this way, we have to understand Tattva Jnana.
Yes, thank you माता जी। Yes, His Grace the Shafta Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra explains that the supreme, the nature of that source is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, first verse. Janmadiyasya yato and vyad taratascha chartheshva avijñā swarat. That source is avijñā, cognizant. Matter is not cognizant. Therefore, the theory of modern science that life comes from matter is incorrect, from whom everything emanates which means he can understand. He can understand. The Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, first verse also states, "Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kabaye." Krishna instructed Lord Brahma in Vedic knowledge. Unless the ultimate source is the living entity, how can he impart knowledge? Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by Vyasadeva, who also compiled the Vedanta Sutra. Generally, the Mayavadis emphasize Sutra by Sankaracharya, the Saririka Bhasya. But that is not the original commentary on Vedanta Sutra. The original commentary is given by the author himself, Vyasadeva, in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. To understand the actual meaning of Vedanta Sutra, we must refer to the commentary made by the author himself, as stated by Sri Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, Rishivir Bahuta Gitam, Chando Vir Vivideh Pratak, Brahma Sutra Padesheva, Hetu Madhibhir Vinishchite. The knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of the activities as described by the various sages in various Vedic writings, especially in the Vedanta Sutra, and is presented with all reasoning as to cause and effect. Hare Krishna.
Transcendental knowledge is therefore very logical. According to the Vedic system, according to Vedic system, the Acharya must understand Vedanta Sutra, also called Brahma Sutra, before he can accept it as an Acharya. Both the Mayavad Sampradaya and the Vaishnava Sampradaya have explained the Vedanta Sutra. Without understanding Vedanta Sutra, one cannot understand Brahman. It is said that Vidura understood transcendental knowledge from Maitreyi, and it is stated that Maitreya is a friend of Vyasadeva. This means that both Vidura and Maitreya know that Vyasadeva knows. Oh, we have to approach spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession from Vyasadeva. Everyone may claim to be following the Vyasadeva, but one must actually follow him. Vyasadeva accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of God, and Arjuna also accepted Krishna as the Parabrahman, the supreme person. One may say that because Arjuna was a friend of Krishna, he accepted him in this way, but this is not the case. Arjuna gave evidence that Vyasadeva also accepted Krishna. Yes, Dhananjay Prabhuji.
Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Saswatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahus Tvam Marshaya Sarve Deva Rishi Narados Tata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Cheva Bravishi Me. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original. You are the unborn, all-pervading beauty. All great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas proclaim this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, verse 12 and 13.
Thank you.
Vyasadeva accepted Krishna as Brahma, and Vyasadeva began his commentary in Vedanta Sutra with the words Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. If we are actually interested in understanding, we must approach a representative of Vyasadeva like Maitreya. Maitreya is also addressed as Bhagavan, although, of course, the Supreme Bhagavan is Krishna himself. Krishna is to Bhagavan Swam. But the word Bhagwan also refers to the other powerful persons like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vyasdeva, or Maitreya. The actual Bhagwan is Krishna himself. But these personalities have attained as much knowledge of Krishna as possible. It is not possible to have 100% knowledge of Krishna. Not even Narayana himself is capable of that. Yet those who follows Krishna instructions fully are sometimes called Bhagwan. There are many artificial Bhagwans, but a real Bhagwan is one who knows what Krishna has taught. Vidura was very eager to receive transcendental knowledge, and because of this, Maitreya was very pleased with him. One can please the spiritual master simply by surrendering to him and rendering service, saying, "Sir, I am your most obedient servant. Please accept me and give me instructions." Although Arjuna was a very intimate friend of Krishna's before receiving Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he surrendered himself, saying, "Sisyaste ham ha- ham sadi mam tvam parapanam." Now I am your disciple and our soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Bhagavad Gita 2.7.
This is the proper way to ask for knowledge. One does not approach the spiritual master with a challenging spirit. One should also be inquisitive to understand the spiritual science. It is not that one considers himself superior to the Guru. One must first find a Guru to whom one can surrender, and if this is not possible, one should not waste his time. By surrendering to the proper person, one can very quickly come to understand transcendental knowledge.
So we are moving to the next chapter, chapter 5. Lord Kapila takes charge of his mother, Devuti. His grace, Dashrath Prabhu.
Yes, Guruji. My
Mhm.
पितरि प्रतिष्ठेरण्यं मया तस्मिन् बिन्दुस्तरे अवात्सित Bhagavan Kapila Kila. Maitreya said, when Kardam left for the forest, Lord Kapila stayed on the strand of the Bindu Sarovar to please his mother purport. In the absence of the father, it is the duty of the grown son to take charge of his mother and serve her to the best of his ability so that she will not feel separation from her husband. It is also the duty of the husband to leave home as soon as there is a grown son to take charge of his wife and family affairs. That is a Vedic system of household life. One should not remain implicated in the household affairs up to the time of death. He must leave family affairs and the wife may be taken charge of by a grown son.
Being a great yogi, Karda Muni was not very interested in family life. Nonetheless, he decided to marry, and Swambhuva Manu brought his daughter Devati to him to serve as a wife. Karda Muni was a yogi living in a cottage, and Devati was a princess, a king's daughter. Not being used to work, she became very skinny, and Karda Muni took compassion upon her, thinking, "This girl has come to me, but now she is not in a very comfortable position." Therefore, by his yogi powers, Karda Muni created a large palace with many servants, gardens, and other opulences. Not only that, but he also created a great spaceship as large as a small city. Modern airlines have prepared a 747, and although they are very big, Karda Muni, by his yogic powers, was able to create a spaceship wherein there were lakes, places, gardens. This spaceship could also travel all over the universe. Modern scientists labor very hard to make a small spaceship to go to the moon, but Karda Muni could create a great spaceship that could travel to all the planets. This is possible by yogic powers. Yes, yes, Dhananjay Prabhu.
There are different siddhis or yogic perfections, anima, lagima, prapti, and so on. Whatever yogis choose to do, they can do. That is the real yoga system. It is not that one becomes yogi simply by pressing his notes and performing some gymnastics. One must actually attain the yogic siddhis. By these siddhis, the yogi can become very small or very large, very heavy or very light. Whatever he wants, he can immediately produce in his hand, and he can travel whatever he desires. Kardama Muni was a such a perfected Siddhi yogi. By his own wife Devati, he had 9 daughters who were distributed to the Prajapatis like Daksha Maharaj and many others. The only son of Kardama Muni was Kapil Dev, an incarnation of Krishna. This Kapil Dev was one of the Mahajanas. The word Mahajana means authority according to the Vedic Shastras. There are 12 authorities. They are Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumar, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Janak, Bhishma, Bali, Sukdev, Goswami, and Yamraj. Swayambhu is Brahma, Shambhu is Lord Shiva. These authorities should be followed if you want to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead and understand the purpose of religious life. Mahajano yena gatha sapanta. These Mahajanas follow the principles set forth by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita.
We cannot very easily understand the actual truth of religious systems, but if we follow these margins, we can understand Kapila Muni explain the glories of devotional service to his mother, Devuti. If we follow him, we may learn the truth of devotional service. According to the system of Varnasrama Dharma, one who is over 50 years of age must leave home to go to the forest and completely devote his life to spiritual realization. This is actual Varnasrama Dharma system. That it is not a Hindu system, for the word Hindu is a name given by the Muslims and does not occur in any Vedic literature. However, the Varna Sarma Dharma is mentioned mentioned. Civilized human beings should strictly follow the Varna Sarma institution. If
Varnashram,
one
Mataji,
is
Varnashram. Sorry.
Varnashram, okay,
Yes.
thank you. Varnashram institution. If one is born as Brahmana, he strictly follows the he strictly follows nahi, he is trained nicely as a brahmachari, and then he becomes a grasta, a householder. When he gives up his home, he is called vanaprastha, and after he may take a sannyas, being a yogi. Kardama Muni strictly followed these principles. Therefore, as soon as Kapil Deva was grown, Devuti was placed in his charge. Kardama Muni then left home, as stated in the verse Pitari प्र- प्रस्थिते रण्यम मत्तुः प्रिया किरिस्या.
According to the Manu Samhita, a woman should never be given freedom, and she is not under the protection of her husband. She must be under the protection of her sons. Women cannot properly utilize freedom, and it is better for them to remain dependent. A woman cannot be happy if she is independent. That is a fact. In Western countries, we have seen many women very unhappy simply for the sake of independence. That independence is not recommended by the Vedic civilization or by the Varnashram Dharma. Consequently, Devahuti was given to Kapil's son Kapil Deva, and Kapil Deva was fully aware that he had to take care of his mother. It is the duty of the father to protect his daughter until she attains puberty and is married to a suitable husband. अभी ठीक है क्या वॉइस?
अब ठीक आ रही है.
Yes. Yes.
The husband then takes care of the wife. Generally, a man should marry at around 25 years of age, and a girl should marry no later than 16. If this is the case, when the man is 50 years old, his eldest son should be around 25, old enough to take charge of the mother. According to this calculation, Kapil Dev was about 25 years old and was quite able to take charge of his mother. Devahuti. He knew that because his father left his mother in his charge, he should take care of her and always please her. Matu Priya Chikirsaya roll करेंगे प्रभु जी. Kapil Dev was not irresponsible, but was always ready to please his mother. Kapil Dev was a brahmachari, and his mother took lessons from him. That is the prerogative of the name, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.32. ममयि पर्थ व्यापास्त्रिया व्यापाश्रित्या या या ये अपि शिव पाप योनाया स्त्रियो वैश्यास तथा शूद्रास ते अपि यन्ति param gatim. O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Shudras, workers, can approach the supreme destination. Women are considered on the same platform with Shudras, and although a woman may be married to a Brahmana, she is not given the sacred thread. It is also said that the Mahabharata was compiled by Vyasadeva because the direct Vedic knowledge could not be understood by women, Shudras, and Bandhus, those who are born in Brahmana families but are not qualified Brahmanas. Stri Shudra Dvij Bandhunam Traina Shruti Gochara Gochara Bhagavatam 1.4.25. Consequently, Mahabharata is called the fifth Veda. The four preceding Vedas are Sam, Yajur, Rig, and Athar. The essence of Vedic knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, is given within the Mahabharata. Women are inferior to men, and Vedic civilization is so perfect that men are given full charge of the women. It is therefore said, Matu Priya Chikirsaya. The son is always ready to see that the mother is not unhappy. Kapiladev was anxious that his mother not feel the absence of his father, and he was ready to take the best care of her and give her knowledge. Because women are supposed to be less intelligent, they should be given knowledge, and they should also follow this knowledge. They should follow their father's instructions, their husband's instructions, and the instructions of their grown scholarly sons like Kapil Dev. In this way, their lives can be perfect. In all cases, women should always remain dependent.
Hmm.
Yes. The Avasthit Bhagwan Kapila Kila. It is not worthy that in the as Bhagavan, which indicates that he possesses all wealth, fame, knowledge, beauty, strength, and six appearances are fully represented in Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of God as Krishna's to Bhagavan Swami, and others are accepted as his expansion or incarnation, Vishnu Tattva. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami has analyzed the characteristics of Bhagavan. The first Bhagavan is Sri Krishna himself, but some of his opulences are also bestowed upon Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is a Jiva Tattva, a living being like us. If we become spiritually powerful, we can also have the post of Lord Brahma. Superior to Lord Brahma is Lord Shiva, and superior to Lord Shiva is Vishnu or Lord Narayan, and superior to all is Krishna. That is the analysis of the Vedic Shastra and Brahma Samhita. Even Sankaracharya, the Mayavadi impersonalist philosopher, accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Sa Bhagavan Swayam Krishna. All the Acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbark, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also accept Krishna as the supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Kapil Dev is an incarnation of Krishna, and he gives instruction to his mother Devati. We must distinguish between the two Kapilas. One Kapila is the Bhagwan Kapila, and another Kapila is the atheist Kapila. Bhagwan Kapila is also known as Devati Putra Kapila, but both Kapilas expounded Sankhya philosophy. But the atheist Kapila expounded it without understanding, perception, or realization of God. On the bank of Bindu Sarovar Lake, Kapil Dev personally expounded Sankhya philosophy to his mother Devati, just as Krishna personally expounded the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to his friend Arjuna. Like Arjuna, Devati was aware that she was before her spiritual master, as indicated in the following verse. Indeed, the Lord Brahma had informed her that her son was a powerful incarnation. Dhananjay Prabhuji.
तस्तं असिनम् अकर्माणं तत्त्वमसि मार्गग्रदर्शनम स्वसुतम देव देवहूति धातु सम स्मरति vacha. Translation: When Kapila, who could show her the ultimate goal of absolute truth, was sitting leisurely before her, devotee remembered the words Brahma had spoken to her, and she therefore began to question Kapila as follows. Purport: The ultimate goal of absolute truth is Krishna consciousness, devotional service. The liberated stage is not final if we simply understand that we are not the body, we are spirit, soul. Our knowledge is insufficient. We must also act as Brahman. Then our position will be fixed.
Thank you. So we can stop here and start with the learnings and realizations. Or any comments or anything someone want to share, please.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Mataji.
एक चीज मेरे को बहुत अच्छी लगी जो मैंने एकदम स्टार्टिंग में पढ़ी थी कि हम लोग, एक मिनट, कि जो भगवान के डिसाइपल्स होते हैं, डिसाइपल्स भी नहीं, जो भगवान को समझ जाते हैं वो भी इक्वल टू भगवान, जैसे लॉर्ड शिवा, लॉर्ड नारायण, वो लॉर्ड व्यास देव। तो हम लोग उनकी भी प्रीचिंग्स को भी फॉलो कर सकते हैं, बट अगेन कृष्ण सबसे सुप्रीम है, हमें उनका ही सोच के उनको ही फॉलो करना चाहिए। तो मुझे एक ये वाली पॉइंट भी अच्छा लगा। बस।
Because source तो कृष्णा ही है।
यस, सोर्स तो कृष्ण ही है।
Thank you. Anyone wants to? Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
मतलब बिग पॉइंट ये अच्छा लगा कि जैसे तो उनकी माता ने मतलब तो उनकी टेक केयर करने के लिए लॉर्ड कपिला थे, और जैसे बता रहे हैं कि लॉर्ड कपिला ने पूरी अच्छी तरह से उनकी मतलब उनकी टेक केयर किया, और इट्स अ ड्यूटी टू द सन टू टेक केयर ऑफ हिज मदर, है ना। ऐसा मतलब ऐसे प्रभुपाद जी बता रहे हैं। बट हम यहाँ पे देख भी सकते हैं कि जो माता है देवहूति, जब कपिला उनको ज्ञान दे रहे थे तो वो अपने आप को एज अ डिसाइपल मान करके सुन रही थी। एज अ डिसाइपल उन्होंने अपने आप को माना, और एज सुप्रीम मतलब एज अ स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर अपने पुत्र को माना। तो दैट काइंड ऑफ सरेंडर इज वेरी टफ, लाइक, है ना। मतलब अपने बेटे को स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर मान लेना, मतलब आज की लाइफ में देखेंगे तो मुझे नहीं लगता कोई पेरेंट्स होंगे मतलब अपने बेटे को स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर मान के उसकी उस तरह से सुनेंगे, और ऐसे बेटे भी नहीं है जो स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर हैं। तो माय पॉइंट इज लाइक बहुत, मतलब वो तो लॉर्ड कपिला थे, तो इस वजह से मतलब, और वो माता नहीं थी, तो तरह से मतलब वो काफी देखा जाए तो दैट इज द, मतलब जो भी हमें इस तरह से लॉर्ड कपिला जैसे क्वालिटी इतनी होती है तो हमें सरेंडर करना चाहिए। तो यस, मतलब अगर वो हमारा बच्चा भी हो तो भी, मतलब राइट। बट मतलब समझ रहे हैं ना, मतलब मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ। सॉरी, थोड़ा
नहीं
कंफ्यूजिंग होगा।
तो जी ब्रह्मा जी खुद आके बोले कि आपका पुत्र जो है वो एक बहुत बड़ा इनकारनेशन है, तो माता तो सरेंडर उन्होंने इसलिए कर ही दिया। आज के टाइम में बड़ा मुश्किल है प्रभु जी, दोनों साइड से ना वो क्वालिटीज इनकलकेट करना कि भगवान का पुत्र जैसी। बट यस, मतलब सीक्वेंस
काफी मुश्किल हो जाता है।
हाँ, सीक्वेंस ऐसे चलना चाहिए, मतलब हर पुत्र को मतलब ये सोचना चाहिए अपने पेरेंट्स के लिए इस तरह से टेक केयर कर पाए।
और सिर्फ मैटेरियली टेक केयर नहीं, उनकी स्पिरिचुअल टेक केयर भी करना है। वो वहाँ पे मैटेरियली टेक केयर के बारे में नहीं सोच रहे हैं, वो अपनी माता को नॉलेज दे रहे हैं, ज्ञान दे रहे हैं, मतलब जिससे कि उनकी माता जब ये जो सेपरेशन फील हो रहा है उसको, उससे थोड़ा सा रिलैक्स मिले, और वो सिर्फ स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज है ना, वो और कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज के थ्रू ही वो कर रहे हैं। तो यस, दैट इज अनदर गुड पॉइंट हियर कि मतलब हमें किसी दुख से अगर बाहर निकलना है तो हमें स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज देनी पड़ेगी पहले, तभी फिर हम उससे आगे मतलब उभर पाएंगे।
यस।
यस। और करदम मुनि का बताया कि वो वानप्रस्थ के लिए जाते हैं, तो यस दैट इट इज अगेन द एग्जांपल, मतलब उन्होंने यहाँ पे एग्जांपल सेट किया कि एक एज के बाद अपने मतलब जब पुत्र संभालने के काबिल हो जाए तो फिर बाहर मतलब निकलना चाहिए, अटैचमेंट से मतलब अटैचमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए और उधर से फिर बाहर निकलना चाहिए, राइट?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
थैंक यू, यस
Thank you.
प्रभु, दैट्स इट।
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes. Anyone wants to add? Swati Mataji, Dhananjay Prabhu. Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so we can stop here. Thank you. One chakal patru, chakal person to chapati ram pavane pe vaishne bhana manama, Jagat Guru Prabhupada. Thank
Enjoy.
you. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare
Hare Krishna.